So what I'm doing here is a test. I want to see what those blinkers look like on camera. And then I'm going to show you guys something. It's an idea I had. This is a temporary kind of fix here. This is over 20 years old. This is a black reflective material. It's a sticker. And I bought this when I had my motorcycles. I used to ride Triumphs and they were black. And I put reflective tape on a lot of areas on the motorcycle that you couldn't see was there at a quick glance, or even when you were standing next to it, unless the light hit it just right. And at nighttime, headlights from cars would light that bike up like a Christmas tree, so it was a safety thing. So my thought was, I've got a post here that everything pivots off of, and then I got this post here. And people are nervous about the taillights. I got some other ideas about mounting an extra taillight, kind of like a LED in these posts that I could wire to these lights so that they come on when the brake lights come on, or the blinker. Of course, I talked about putting lights in here. But temporarily, I was thinking, if I wrap this post and this post with some of this reflective tape, when I hit the brakes and I hit the blinkers, that should reflect the light from this tail light and just... That's what I think in my mind. I'm going to cut some of this up. I'm going to tape it in place temporarily to see if it's worth it, and you're going to see that. This is a 3M Scotch-Brite, it says. Oh, Scotch-Lite graphic film. Right there on the back. And you can see here, 1998 to 2003. It's a little dark, sorry. It's called Applied Graphics. This was a place out of Applied Graphics out of Ashland, Oregon. I also had this pattern here that I used to put on my motorcycle helmets. So I don't know if this place is still in existence, but there's the address if you're curious. Gotta get as much done as I can before the gardeners come and start making noise. So I'll review that. I assume, probably correctly, that you might have noticed something. At nighttime, it would be more evident. So we'll see. I'm gonna look at this right now. And then the next thing is, I'm pulling the bumper off, and I want to paint. I got some paint cans up here, getting warm with the sun. I got to paint those brackets, and the brackets that hold the bumper on. We'll pull the stuff out of here, let it dry out. And somebody made a comment. Makes sense. I didn't think of it. Anything in there I don't want to get wet, just put it in a dry bag or wrap it up so if water gets in there. But I still have some really cool ideas about making that watertight at the lid, which I will do just as a project for myself because I can't help myself. I see a thing that I need to make better. I'm going to figure out a way to make it better. So let's keep. Alright, so what I learned is that just this upper part is the brake light and what blinks. So if I decide to put these on here, I'll put them so that they're about equal with the top of this tail light here. Because this lower section isn't doing anything. But it does bounce around a little bit. Again, at night is when you'll see it. So I'll have to do a test with that. Anyhow, let me get back to work and get this bumper off of here. You know what? I just had another thought, which you guys are already thinking. When lights hit that, it's super bright white light. It's good for visibility, but it's not good for the rear of the vehicle, right? It should be red. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to source this same material in a red. It'll be visually, you'll see it more, and then as if there's cars behind me or at nighttime, whatever, and their headlights are hitting the back of the van, that'll glow a little bit, but it'll glow red. So I think that'll make more sense for that. But anyhow, I got to keep working. Couple blocks wedged on top of those stands to hold that bumper in place. I'll unbolt the fasteners from the brackets to hold the bumper on, and then I'll pull these bolts on both sides, and then this whole bumper will pull right off. So I'm going through what I got here. Most of my bolts are too short, but I found these 4 that are used already, but they'll work on the back with these riv nuts, the large ones, and I've got exactly 4 of them, so I can't make a mistake. Okay, I've got 5 of them. I can make 1 mistake. Let's not make any mistakes. All right, so that's what we're doing. And it's probably going to be easier to, I hate doing it because these are all set, but I'm going to have to pull these, I think, all these brackets off, because it'll just be easier to paint them down on the ground, or, you know, on a table or something. You can see a little bit of surface rust here already happening on the brackets that Dave welded up. And the ones that were sent to me had some rust on them anyhow. So I got to get in there with a wire brush. This might be one of those situations where I don't get it all done in one day, because I don't know how long it's going to take for the paint to dry. So my next thing now is to mark on this in 2 spots, and then pull these, drill these out, mount them again, mark where the holes go correspondingly into the body. Of course, I have to pop this open and make sure I can put them in there. Let's just go ahead and take an eyeball on that real quick. Of course, there's everything in here, so you can see what's going on here. Those riv nuts are going to be going inside the, yeah, I'm going to have to get up on something to take a look at that. I can't see it from my vantage point, but actually, no, they're going to go in here. See that? Two bolts here. Is going to be in here somewhere. So it should work. There shouldn't be any wires in there. All the wires are here, outside. They're not inside the body. And there's a hole here. I get my finger in. Okay, yep, my fingers are going right now inside here, right behind where the plate is. And sorry, there's nothing in the way that I'm going to hit, so we're in good shape there. You can see how that has already pulled away just because the post isn't here. See that? I hope you guys can see that. It's hard when I move, my whole body's moving, but you guys can see that. So the riv nuts will pull that tight and hold it there. That's the idea. Then I can kind of add a little bit of silicone around that, and we'll be golden. No leaks, by the way, in there. So that rubber, common sense, right? When you really cinch down these bolts, torque them down, it squeezes that rubber and water can't get in. That's how it works. So that'll help. I was thinking I may have to relieve the rubber around where the riv nut is, because that protrudes beyond the sheet metal a little bit. So I might have to make a little circle around that. We'll see how it works out. Okay, so I measured 1 inch in from the end, and it's angled, so they're slightly angled, but I'm cool with that. I wanted that on purpose. And I already put a pilot hole through here and into the sheet metal. I'm going to use a 3/8 inch bit next on that. I got to do the other side. And then I need a 1/2 inch for these. But what I'll do is, after I drill the 3/8 on there, I'll drill right through the steel of the body here. And then I have to make that bigger for the 1/2 inch for the riv nut. And then, of course, all this comes... I'll drill these with the 3/8 first, then this comes off. Then I drill the 1/2 inch through the body. I put the riv nuts on, sand these up a bit, paint them. All right, that went a lot faster than I thought it was going to go. All right, pop these off, get to work. I just want to say these bits here, these are from Harbor Freight, and I've been using the heck out of them, and no problems. I continue to use these multiple times in steel. They're still sharp. They're still cutting amazingly. Go figure. So I got these suckers painted up. Drilled the hole if I want to hang a hammock or something. That's a 1/2 inch hole. And they look okay. I don't care too much. Might seem like I do, but anyhow. I still got to relieve the rubber for these. You know, no big deal. I got to take these off and paint them. It's 11:30 and I'm starving, so I might go ahead and take a break and go eat. Come back fully charged. The thing with this 2X, with this primer in it, it does dry to the touch pretty quick. Those were the important things. So hopefully they should be dry by the end of the day. And if I can get back here quick enough to get those off, I might go ahead and try to do it all now. I got a banana with me. Maybe I'll just do that. Take those off, paint them, and then go eat. When I come back, everything might be ready to put back on. I might get this all done today. We'll see. All right, so the brackets are painted. I left them on, I just taped them out. There's a few runs here and there because I'm rushing this, but they're all painted on the inside and everything. All right. And then I've got these on, and I just silicone those. I got a little silicone on the top of this paint, but I'm not going to worry about it. I taped it out along the vehicle. I didn't worry about trimming this, and yes, I left a washer off here. I did the same thing on the other side. I actually did the other side first, and that's the hardest one to get in because where it is located there. And I just forgot that washer, so I figured, well, screw it. I'll leave the washer off on the other side to make them even. Again, I did silicone this tight to the wall. I'm not noticing much pull away here. This is all still a little tacky, but I can't help it. I haven't eaten lunch yet. I'm gonna go ahead and try to put this bumper on right now. I sprayed this, and I did get a couple little runs here and there. I'm not gonna worry about it, but at least it's a pretty, in here in the dark, it looks like a pretty good color match. I didn't do the front where the weld is yet, but you know, I got this all painted. Yeah, I didn't get it perfect. I can sand that out and get it right later, but at least it's all that stuff's black now. And the side gate over here I got an issue with. I just noticed I was going out the gate and these bolts are pulling through. Of course, I got some shadow here from the sun, but you can see in here that is coming apart. And I think I'm gonna need a through bolt to fix that. So that's a bummer. This is the same thing on the top. People just been beating on this door, and it needs to be kind of refurbished again. This gate's been here for like 20 years. I built it. It's 2 inches thick. It's about 6 feet tall and 3 feet wide, but this is a serious problem. Nobody's been noticing. I don't use this gate, so I got to fix that for them like ASAP, on top of all the other stuff I got to get done. So, and yesterday I did get the floating top in and the little ceiling. I'll insert some pictures of that right here. So yeah, let's get this bumper on. All right, there it is. So I got it on. And this whole thing, I got distracted a little bit. I had a neighbor come over and talk to me for a bit this morning. It's about 1:30, 9:30, I'll say. 9:30, 10:30, 11:30, 12:30, 1:30, so 4 hours. And I rushed it, so it's not as perfect as it could have been, but this worked. That is not pulling away from the vehicle anymore. Try to zoom that in for you, sorry. Keep an eye on that. I'm pulling on this now, and that is not pulling away from the vehicle like it was doing before, which makes me ecstatic. The paint's not good. I'll show you. I got some runs. I wiped this one down, and I went ahead and put some more paint on it, so there's a little texture to it now. I don't care. This is going to get beat up, and show you this here, same thing. I'll open this up and we're going to push it away. The whole vehicle moves now. It is no longer separating here like it was. So that, we're going to call that a success. I also put some lock washers on the back, you know, on the bolts with the big washers down below here where I'm attaching it to the brackets. A couple of the nuts were they weren't loose like falling off, but they turned off real easy. So we probably didn't tighten them all the way when we put it on over at Dave's. Which I suspected, so I'm glad that I did this now. I got that tarp drying. That was inside the bumper, as were these ropes and my scissor jack. But what I'll do now is, just like, as somebody recommended, I'll go ahead and I'll put them in some plastic or something after they dry out, and I'll oil that up real good and stick it in there. This way, if any water gets in there for now, it'll be okay. And then I just touch the wet paint. Look at my hands. Look at my hands. Look at my hands. All right, let me use some goof off, I guess, on this door. I got a little overspray. I did a pretty decent job on it, really. Consider I knocked this out in 4 hours alone with no help from anybody. So let me tidy it up a bit, clean up, go eat some lunch, come back and get that gate fixed. It worked. That's the end of this video. It looks a lot better. The rib nuts worked. The paint looks okay. It's attached harder. I'm happy with that. So it'll be fine. It's for off-road use. It's going to get beat up. I'm not going to be overly concerned. I got to get me some lug nuts. I still have to check this pattern, get that wheel up there. But for now, we're just going to call it good. I got so many other things I got to do. I'm so far behind on work and everything else. So I got to get that walnut table going too. That client's been texting me. So thanks for being here. It's a Friday, and I'm sure I'll be working again tomorrow. I'll catch you on the next one. Be good to one another.